EFF leader Julius Malema addressed party supporters, regional leaders at the Ngoako Ramatlhodi sports complex at Seshego in Limpopo this afternoon. The township, which is in Malema's home, is a party stronghold, and the party's central command says it's expecting Malema to focus on election-related issues as well. So they were interacting with obviously some of those in attendance, and SABC News reporter Katlego Nyoni, in fact, brings us more on that story. Katlego, good afternoon at this hour. Perhaps you could bring us the latest as things have wrapped. What are some of the core issues that Julius Malema addressed? How was the message also received?
Good afternoon there, Lizelle, and of course to our viewers. Well, Julius Malema arrived at the Ngoako Ramatlhodi Hall here in Seshego amidst thunderous applause, and welcome by the members here when he was expected before midday to address the Ground Forces Forum here in Seshego. Well, the president of the party did arrive and addressed scores of his supporters who had essentially filled up the hall. Well, Julius Malema just concluded that address and he touched on a number of issues. At the beginning of his address, Malema focused on the land issue, which we know the EFF has been vocal about, saying that, and I quote, "without property, there is no dignity," close quote. Malema also went on to mention a cascade of other issues, including what we have seen recently with the issue pertaining to the manipulation of the rent. He also spoke about the importance, Lizelle, of being economically empowered. Essentially, when he addressed the members of the party, he mentioned that it is very important for them to go back to their, constituencies and make sure that, they are more visible, especially as we prepare for next year's elections. The message was mostly centered around preparedness for the election. The EFF, of course, in Limpopo has got that 1 million campaign where they plan to target about 1 million supporters for the party. But I'm going to speak, Lizelle, to some of the people who were are listening to that address by Julius Malema. Thobela mama re lebogela nako ya lena mo SABC News. Molaetsa o lu utlwileng o mogolo fa President Julius Malema wa EFF a bolela le lena ka mogare ke eng?
Molaetsa go kwila o nthabisitse kudu gore re fitla ka maga ya borena re shome gore re tsebe ra roga batho mo re fitla gona re bolele le batho ga botse. Molaetsa o mogolo o nthabisitse o kudu ye ge borena re be re sa bolele le batho ga botse ka bua ntle ya lena ba re buditse gore re bolele le batho ga botse re tsena malapeng a batho re tsetse le batho ba balwalao re tsetse le bafokodi re ba re thushane le borena ka borena re ratane.
Mama o tswa ko lefelong le lefe?
Ke tswa ga Bota lefelo le leng ba re ke ya Bota Arabo a le village wana mo Limpopo.
Ra leboga mama. That's one of the supporters who was listening to that address by Julius Malema. Of course, they come from different parts of Limpopo. I'm going to speak to another party supporter who was listening to the address. Thobela papa le kae? Le ka re tlhalosetsa gore lena molaetsa mogolo le maele a lo a tsereng morago ga pegelo ya Julius Malema ke eng?
Okay, na nthomathomo can I hold it? Nthomathomo e leng gore I was impressed about the outcomes today. It's an issue of land. Na as far as I'm concerned, how can such a long time go discuss with guys into long or abuse ne santse ba bana ba feditse ka yona, and then no go thomo ba le progress ka di ntse leng gore ke di challenges re di face it. So issue ya land ke reng ke ba ile ba e fetsa it's a long time ago, but still it's a problem mo gore, and then a ke bone gore ke yona ya go strip off our dignity as another South African. And then the important thing na ke nyaka ya gore re phele re le batho ba ba one South Africa, and then re ratane kaofela, and then re share all the wealth jala facility.
Of course, and the party president gave advice to the ground forces that they need to be more visible ahead, especially of next year's the next round rather of the voter registration campaign, that each voting district must have visibility, mentioning things like gazebos, mentioning things like tables, and branded regalia of the EFF.
Okay, you will again try right, and then at least like I say I will ana a ka se bolele maaka ne so dilo tse go re remetse implementation ya whatever e leng gore ne it's like the promises tse leng gore the promises so le gona still ba leng gore ba yo utilize those resources tse leng gore di taba di provide-iwa I wish le bona ba di gore ba di shumise ka tsela ya nnete ye leng gore everybody ta khotsofala and then as long as the vote go determine ba vote ya kere and then o mongwe le mongwe le yena a khotsofale we leng gore o tla ba win.
Thank you very much. That's one of the EFF supporters. Of course, Julius Malema is still in Seshego, where we expect perhaps maybe further engagements between themselves and some of the leadership that have gathered here at the Ngoako Ramatlhodi Sports Complex. Lizelle, it's back to you in the studio.